Hello everybody. Now this is going to be a little bit of a clip that I'm going to end up confusing myself, but for you guys it'll be completely fine. But when it comes to me and editing back footage and stuff, etc, I'm going to be confused. I currently feel like crapola times 2. I am feeling rather sorry for myself, feeling rather poorly. I'm going to pop you on there. Feeling rather sorry for myself, rather poorly. Morning sickness has hit me like a ton of bricks. Now the problem I've got with this morning sickness is when I had morning sickness with Arch, hold on, he's kicking a wall. As I was saying, when I was pregnant with Archie and I had morning sickness, I would gonna try and attempt to say it for the third time. When I was pregnant with Archie, I had morning sickness. But the thing with morning sickness with him was I would feel sick, I would then be sick, and then I would be completely fine until I had the next bout. I would then be sick, and then I would be completely fine. With the baby we lost earlier in the year, I had morning sickness and I could not keep anything down. I was vomiting everywhere. This pregnancy, I have got complete nausea all the time, and I don't actually end up being sick. I do have like this weird cough, weird tickly cough, and the thing is my body is so sore to touch, and like it just feels like I am gonna be sick, but I don't end up being sick. This is definitely the worst type of morning sickness, and I said to Jay, I was like, do you feel like, because I personally feel like this is the worst morning sickness I've ever had, and he agreed with me. He said yes, because bless him, he has had to step up like without any like prior warning or anything, because if it hits and it's bad, it hits and it's bad. So yesterday was my birthday. I actually didn't film anything for my birthday, which I'm kind of sad about. At the same time, I'm kind of like, you know what, no, I was just kind of living in the moment with my boys, and I was happy. I came home and I started to feel really poorly on the sofa. I ended up going upstairs. Well, I ended up throwing up in the garden because I couldn't even make it upstairs. And then I went to the bathroom, threw up upstairs, and then I ended up in bed until dinner arrived. And then I felt really sorry for myself, went to bed, and Jay went to the gym. Now today, I have just felt sick all day, felt really, really nauseous, and the morning sickness is wiping me out. Morning sickness is completely different. So when there's people out there saying, oh, my morning sickness was always the same. No. Every pregnancy is different. Every person is different. I've been pregnant 3 times now. And all 3 times my morning sickness completely different. Pregnancy cravings at the moment. Cold. Ice. Which I know if you're craving ice on its own, it can be a sign of like anemia. I'm being so good with my vitamins. I am taking aspirin because my last 2 pregnancies I had low papae, and Archie was early, and I'm just not going to risk it this pregnancy because I'm not having the combined screening done. We're going straight to the Nipt because our last pregnancy was obviously, our baby was affected by Down syndrome, and still gets me every time. I'm also on a higher dosage of folic acid because we've had previous miscarriage, and I am also taking my Pregnacare vitamin, which is just so big I can't take it. I'm not good with tablets anyway, but the fact that the Pregnacare tablet is so big, you would have thought by now that they would make like a gummy version of it. Just take what's in it. I don't care if the gummy ends up being like the size of this. I would pay more to have it as a gummy, because I can't take tablets to save my life. I have to stand there for ages, like crunching it up to make it really, really small into a powder to then be able to swallow it. But when I was pregnant with Archie, I struggled so much when it came to taking the vitamins, because I was taking pregnant care, but I was taking aspirin, but I was taking aspirin twice a day, and then I was doing like yada yada yada. I couldn't keep up with it all. It was a lot. There was a lot going on, and I just couldn't keep up with it all. With B, I didn't take aspirin because they told me not to take aspirin. And then they told me to take aspirin from like week 10, which at that point I'd already been 10 weeks pregnant. I have started taking aspirin from day dot. As soon as we knew we were pregnant, it was like, nope, taking it, not risking it. We're ignoring the fact that I have a clotting problem, just so that I take the aspirin so that I know that the baby's okay. Weird things that you do psychologically just to make sure that your bubba's okay. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so with baby B, I was kind of all over the place with taking stuff, and I wasn't organised. I wasn't with it. I was completely out of it because I was so poorly. Anyway, I've been taking my vitamins, and I know that that could mean that my iron could still be low. So I have swapped our diet from being what it is to having more red meat in it to try and help with the iron levels that I have got. And then tomorrow is my first booking appointment. So I was talking about cravings, weren't I? I was saying about that I crave cold things. So I crave, ice cream is my thing at the minute. And I put like Magic Stars over the top of it, or Smarties, and like a crumbled up gluten-free cookie. Insane, like the best thing ever. But I'm also craving ice, so I always want ice in water. I just want stuff to be really, really cold. That was how I knew I was pregnant. It's the first thing that I want. I want freezing cold water. It's the first thing I had with Archie. It's the first thing I had with the other baby, and it's the first thing I've had with this pregnancy. Like, I knew I was pregnant because I was wanting cold water. I literally said to Jay, I was like, I want cold water, and I napped. I never nap. I had 2 naps 2 days in a row, and I literally was like, Jay. It was at that point we were like, oh yeah, okay, we're pregnant. Anyway, all over the place. We have got our booking appointment tomorrow. It's our first one. Because I'm dual county, because I am giving birth in Milton Keynes, but I have like all of my care over there because I was dealt with haematology over there, because they deal with my clotting problem, and also because they've dealt with my previous pregnancies. We're going to go to Milton Keynes, and then we're in Northamptonshire, so then Northamptonshire has to do the community midwifery side. So my community midwifery booking appointment with Northampton is tomorrow. It's an 1.5-hour appointment. Now, I don't remember these appointments being an 1.5 hours in length, because I'm pretty sure I go through the stuff quite quickly anyway, because I'm quite good at remembering stuff. But we're going to that appointment. Just reminding myself I need to get people. There we go. This is going to be coming upstairs with me because I need to do a urine sample tomorrow. But we were going to try and do it that for all of our appointments, Jay was going to come to everything, because for the last pregnancy, so when I was pregnant with Archie, he came to everything. And the last pregnancy, I basically did literally everything by myself, apart from like the appointments towards the end when things were not going the way that we were expecting them to. That was when he ended up coming to the appointments. This time, we were going to have the same thing as when we had Archie. He was going to come to all the appointments. However, tomorrow, there isn't anyone to look after Archie tomorrow. So Archie is going to stay with Jay. He's going to drop me off at the appointment. They're going to go off and have some daddy and son time. Then they're going to pick me up. We'll come home and Archie will have a nap. Can you please be careful? Yeah. It'll be fun for future me to edit. I basically just started choking. I'm alright, Oz. Good boy, Archie. Yes, we do. We put our hand over our mouth. Early scan appointment. where hopefully the baby will be 10 weeks, and we will also be having our blood test done for the Nipt, and Jay's dad is going to come in here and have Archie that day too. He's moving my Hoover to try and come smoothly for this pregnancy, for as many appointments as we can possibly do. We're going to try and get childcare for Archie so that Jay can come to the appointments. It's just that tomorrow is fine. I said to him, it was like, it's the community one anyway, so it's not like they're going to do anything drastic, and he's also going to be in the area because he's going to have Archie in the car with him. Hello everybody, it is Friday. It's Friday the 3rd. I'm going to start that again. Hello everybody, it is Friday the 3rd. I am so tired. We have just got back from the hospital. We have just had our booking in appointment. Careful. No, you're going to break Mummy's glasses. No, you're going to break them. Nipt. No. What's that? What's that? Okay. We've just got back from the hospital. We just had our booking in appointment. So last Friday, I don't actually know if I ended up filming anything last Friday. I had my booking in appointment at Northampton, and when I say the booking appointment last Friday took 2 hours, today it took an hour and a half. The one at Milton Keynes. Basically had to go through the same questions. Because they're 2 different counties, they're 2 different hospitals, 2 different systems. They don't do the same system. They don't have the same system. So it doesn't communicate, which is a little bit annoying because it means that I have to go through the questions again and again and again. But anyway, I've had my bloods taken twice because they want to be on the safe side when it comes to my clotting. Not on there, Bubba. They've taken my bloods twice, so my right arm is really, really sore. My left arm is sore from last week because I've bruised from where the bloods were taken from. Whereas my right arm is now sore because I've had 2 lots of bloods. I had 1 lot done at the beginning of the appointment, and then from answering the questions, they were like, oh, do you know what? We might need to take some extra bloods to look at like your clotting and like what's going on with that. So we'll do another test. So many questions. But now we've got to wait until Monday. On Monday, we are going for an early scan, which I am terrified of. As long as I'm 10 weeks, Monday is Monday is the early scan. As long as I'm 10 weeks, I can then have my Nipt test done, which is a blood test, and it's bypassing the combined screening. So I don't get all of like the actual tests to do with the hormones and stuff. They basically go straight to the genetics to work out whether the baby's genetics are okay. And we're having a Nipt test done. So Monday's going to be another day of full-onness and craziness, I guess. So I'm really nervous about Monday. But I am very drained from today's appointment because it's just so many questions. When you go to a booking appointment, you just have to answer so many questions about like your own health, your partner's health, both of your parents' health, and then like your siblings if they've had children or if they've not, and like and what their health was like as children. You have to answer all those questions, and it was just a lot. It was just a lot. Anyway, I'm back home now. I'm with Archie. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going to have a nap when Archie has a nap because I am exhausted. So, oh, he's currently playing with the freezer door. Monday will be the day that I'm nervous about, and then it's 2 weeks from that day to find the result, which I'm a little bit nervous, more nervous about, but we will see what happens. We're just going to go with the flow. It's a nerve-wracking time and things are very full on, but life must go on. Feels really weird now to be sat here talking and the camera's this way, but I feel like I can talk a little bit more. I've just filmed some content that I'm basically going to document our pregnancy journey over on TikTok as well, but I'm doing it in short little videos, whereas over here I'm kind of doing a little bit more of a longer form content for it, so I feel like I'm a little bit more relaxed and I can just speak at you. I was looking back through clips to see like what I last filmed, and I think it was my booking appointment last week. So we're a whole week later. I've been back to the hospital twice. Monday, we'll have mentioned it in the previous clip, but the Monday was our dating scan. So we went into EPAU at the hospital, which is the early pregnancy assessment unit. We actually were dealt with by the ward sister who we had dealt with when we lost our other baby, and neither Jay nor I like her bedside manner. She's not very approachable. She's not very she's not endearing. She doesn't really seem to listen. She's very matter of fact and just wants to get her job done. She doesn't really have a bedside manner or like necessarily a caring side, and when she does try to look like she's asking questions to be like she's caring or she's understanding, it just comes across fake. So we didn't have like the best experience with her whatsoever when we'd lost our other baby, so having to go through with her everything again on Monday felt a little bit uncomfortable, but we did it anyway. So we went in for our 6-week scan. Not 6-week scan. I keep saying 6-week scan because I had a 6-week scan with Archie. This was my early scan to determine how long our pregnancy had been, so that we could work out when my Nipt test needed to be. So we went into the scan room. There was a sonographer and like her assistant. And I literally said to them before we even started, I was like, I am terrified. I'm feeling like a lot of emotions. I am just so nervous to have this. And they were like, it's completely understandable. Like, it's quite a deep situation. And then they were just like, you're here for a Nipt test, aren't you, as well, straight after? And I was like, yeah, I'm going for a Nipt straight after this. If we're 10 weeks to like work out if the baby's okay. So like, obviously a lot of emotions to do with that. So she basically said, like, I'm going to start scanning. She was like, if the baby's quite small, like, we'll have to do like an internal if I can't necessarily see it. But she was like, hopefully, like, we'll be able to like determine, because of when your last period was, that you should be able to like see over your tummy, like where the baby is and how big the baby is. I just remember the room went really weird. Like, I kind of just like blacked out. I remember holding Jay's hand, but I was like squeezing so hard. I feel so bad how hard I squeezed his hand, because I was terrified. I think he was nervous as well, but I think because I vocalized to him how nervous I was, he, bless him, was just trying to be really strong for me, just to be like, if he doesn't show that he's nervous, then he was obviously like hoping that would make me feel better. So, yeah, I held his hand. She basically just went, okay, so I can see that you've got one baby. There's just one. And at that point, floodgates opened. I started crying, was absolutely bawling my eyes out, was apologising to them that I was crying, because that's just normal with me. If I start crying, I apologise. And I was just like, I just felt horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I just felt awful. I was literally like crying my eyes out, being like, oh my gosh, it's just relief and happy tears. I just remember looking at Jay, and like he was teary a little bit, but like he was holding it together. He was doing so much better than I was. But I was just very emotional, and she was like, look, it's normal to be like to be like this. Like, there's lots going on within your body, like hormonal wise, but she was like, but also like after everything that you've been through, like it's understandable, like you don't need to apologize. She was like, I'm just gonna like do some measurements now just to kind of work out how far along you are. She started doing some measurements, and she worked out that we were 9.5 weeks, which she was like 9 and 3 days. So she was like, obviously, like, it's too early for you to have a Nipt. So they had to reschedule us for us to go back and have a Nipt, which is what we went through. I say we, it was me, because Jay had to stay here with Archie. It was me today. So I went and had a Nipt test today, which was my blood test. They take my blood and basically they extract my DNA from it, and then they are left with floating DNA which belongs to the baby, and then from that they can analyze that DNA and they can check the chromosomes that are there. They can check for a missing chromosome, duplicate chromosomes, or added extra additional chromosomes to basically see if there is a chromosomal disorder or not. The blood sample gets sent off to London and it would arrive there this afternoon. And basically, they will then start analysing it either today or Monday. And then we have to wait 2 weeks to get the results. And so we're now kind of just sat at this limbo stage now of just feeling strange. I'm scared. And I've just got to wait for the hospital number to ring to tell me, like, what's going on. It's just a very weird feeling, like a really, really weird feeling. So yeah, that's kind of like where we're up to. Our next clip video, I'm presuming, will be my Nipt result. Which I'm kind of nervous about because like I said to the lady today, I was just kind of like we have a plan for, like, if it comes back positive, we are literally just going to move the cogs exactly how we were doing it last time. But if it's, but obviously if we're thinking positively, if it is completely okay, then we just carry on as normal. But like, if it isn't, then we kind of just go through the process of what we did last time. So, yeah. Hey, I feel like you're really low down. Let's put you there. It's Wednesday. I'm at the gym and I've just had my test result. I've just realised how delayed the CCTV is when I move. I've just had my test result through. I have low chance of any of the chromosomal disorders, but low chance of Down syndrome. Can't believe it. I cannot believe it at all. I just can't believe it. Cannot believe it at all. I feel like I'm in a blur. I'm not like fully processing it, because at the time when I took the call, I was in front of like our 2 members of staff who obviously know everything that's been going on anyway, but was just so scared of that test result. As soon as that number come up, it was like, oh God, I feel really sick. But test result has come back and it's low chance, which is crazy. It just doesn't feel real. Does not feel real at all. We're in the car. We are on our way to the hospital for our 12-week scan, and I am shitting a brick.